Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be getting into a makeup playtime. I got a bunch of new products that I'm testing out on camera. Gonna show you what they look like and tell you what I think about them. Little spoiler alert of what's to come. Some things ended up being really amazing and other things not so much. So if you're excited to see what I used, how I made this look, and what ended up sucking real bad, stay tuned because we're about to get into it. I am so ready. I am so ready to film this makeup look right now. I have been wanting to show you guys these products for a while, and I've been wanting to put on makeup all day. So let's jump into it. I'm going to quickly throw on my base because I'm not using anything new in that respect. I'm going to be using the Ren Perfect Canvas Skin Finishing Serum as my primer, Tarte Face Tape as my foundation. Also, side note, how do you guys like my new little headband? I just picked this up in my Ulta haul. It's by Vintage Cosmetics Company. They also make a little pink and white polka dot one that I usually wear. I just wanted some options to switch it up. Alright, but enough about headbands. Let me go put on my foundation. Alright, so moving on to the first new product in today's video, I've got my hands on the E.L.F. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. Finally, everybody has been talking about this. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and that it is a Tarte Shape Tape dupe, but we're gonna put that to the test because I've been told that every drugstore concealer is a Tarte Shape Tape dupe, and I have not found one yet that has come close. And y'all know, if you watch my videos, Shape Tape is like my holy grail concealer. I love it so much. So this guy has some big shoes to fill, but it is significantly less expensive. I think this retails for like $5-6, and Shape Tape is what, $27 now? So if this is even mildly comparable, that would be really great. Now, I'm just gonna point something out to you guys. So I picked up the shade Medium Sand of this concealer, and I have the shade Light Medium Sand in this Tarte foundation. Now, these bottles are shiny, but I think you can see, look at how crazy light this concealer is compared to the foundation. So like if you're gonna order this, and you are on the more light medium side of the light spectrum, don't even bother ordering the light shades, go straight to medium because they're apparently super light. Alright, so all that being said, let's slap this baby on my face. So we have a nice big ol' doe foot applicator here, very Tarte Shape Tape style. I do like that kind of applicator when it comes to the Tarte, so that is a thing I'm not going to complain about. And I'm going to say right off the bat, like very first impression, this feels pretty promising because it does seem to be similar in consistency to the Tarte. It has a lot of pigment. When you spread it, it doesn't leave kind of like a bald spot behind. You can tell when the concealer is not super pigmented when you swipe it with the applicator and kind of there's like a spot in the middle where the concealer almost looks like it's not even there. Do you know what I mean? Like the pigmentation kind of pulls away. It doesn't spread nice and evenly. And so far, seems to be blending in fairly nicely. The finish does definitely remind me of Shape Tape in these first couple of seconds with a level of coverage and also just the level of shine. Like it's not super tacky, but it's not super flat and matte. Okay, so I feel like this is looking really nice. I'm not seeing any flaking. I'm not seeing any patching. And yes, I do, of course, always have fine lines under my eyes, but I'm not seeing creasing right away. I'm not seeing the concealer separate, even though I haven't set this yet, which is a good sign. That was one of my complaints with the new L'Oreal concealer, is that immediately after I applied it, I could already see it starting to collect in the fine lines and separate and crease, and it didn't look good. But this, without even having set it yet, looks really nice. Good coverage, it's brightening, and I feel like it looks beautiful on the under eyes. I'm digging this so far. So I thought I would go in with my Milk Makeup Setting Powder today because it's been a while since I've used this guy. So I'm gonna just pick up some of this powder on my damp sponge, just tap this into the concealer to set it down. I do find this powder to be very nice and lightweight and very blurring on the skin. It's not the most mattifying I've ever used. Like, it definitely does mattify the skin, but it doesn't have as much oil control as some other things that I've tried. I feel like this would work on a lot of different skin types. So let's move things along. So I don't have a new bronzer today, so I'm just going to be using Butter Bronzer because I'm on the endless quest to try to pan the compact that I have, but then I do have a brand new blush and highlight to try out, so I'm very excited to show you guys what they are. All right, so now that I'm all nice and bronzed up, I'm gonna be moving on to the new blush that I got. This is the E.L.F. Primer Infused blush in the shade Always Rosy, and I heard really good things about this formula, that it was similar to the new Buxom Primer Infused blushes. Now, I'm gonna say this much. I did swatch all those Buxom blushes in Sephora because I was thinking about possibly picking one of them up, and having touched this and having seen those, I don't think this is a dupe for that formula. All the Buxom blushes have shimmer in them. They're very, very smooth, they're quite pigmented, but they do have a very luminous formula. This is definitely more on the matte side. It is really beautiful though, and it feels like it has a very sort of buildable consistency, buildable formula to it, so I'm really excited to put it on my face. And now I believe this guy retails for about $6, and it only came in 2 shades, which also is kind of a bummer. I feel like it would be nice if they expanded it, but maybe, you know, if this product is popular, E.L.F. will decide to release more shades in the future. So I'm just going in with a Japanesque blush brush. This is like one of the few Japanesque brushes I really, really like. It seems like this is pretty pigmented, so I'm gonna just kind of tap off a little bit on the back of my hand so I don't go in too crazy, and start buffing this on. And it seems to be blending into my other makeup like really nicely. I'm not seeing it go on patchily or anything like at all. It's blending in pretty seamlessly, so that's nice. Yeah, I really like the color. I think the formula is beautiful. Hopefully it'll be long wearing. I don't know with it being primer infused, like what that really does for this, or if that means it's going to be longer wearing, but it definitely like has a very silky texture in the pan. It doesn't feel powdery really, like it feels very firmly pressed, but it feels very soft. So here's to hoping it'll last. Okay, and then this next product is a thing of beauty. This is the new Lorac Mega Glow highlight in the shade Gilded Lily. I am dying. I am dying for this. It looks so dang beautiful, I can't even. So this is what it looks like swatched. Like really, that's some glow right there. It seems to blend into the skin really beautifully, and it is wet. It is like wet and beaming, and it has the most beautiful sort of pink and gold reflect to it. I don't typically love pink toned highlights because a lot of times I feel like they tend to lean more white silver on my skin, and with my skin being a lot more yellow and undertone, sometimes it looks a little weird. But this kind of has more of a rose gold thing going on. It has more of a pink and gold shift to it, so I think it's gonna look absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to put this on my face. Knowing how intense this is, I'm gonna use this little Wet n Wild highlight brush because it's a little bit more precise. I don't want to like have an intensely huge strip of highlight on my face, so I'm just gonna like dab this in here a little bit, just a little bit, and we'll start buffing this on and see what happens. Yeah, I feel like you guys are going to see much better on this side with just the way that my camera lighting is set up. Ooh. Yeah, that is, that's like glass. Dang. Well, alright then. So, all of the hype that this has gotten from everyone is 100% merited, because this is a freaking beautiful highlight. I am loving this. But I will say it is quite intense. I mean, you could probably try to go in with a light hand, but honestly, I think this is a highlight for people that want a very bright, intense, wet-looking highlight. If you want a very natural sheen, this is probably not the highlight for you. Maybe you want to check out like the regular Lorac highlights because they're just like a little toned down from this. So I don't have anything new for brows today, so I'm just gonna reach for my way too expensive Iconic London eyebrow cushion and throw my brows on. Okie dokie, so let's move on to eyes. I have this giant wonkin' palette that I caved and I picked up. This is the new Stila Happy Hour palette. It is the more purpley blue version of the new limited edition palettes that they just launched, because y'all know I love me some good purpley tones, so this seemed right up my alley. I saw some swatches and reviews online, and the glitters in this just looked so stunning. I was like, you know what? I really just want to try it out for myself and let you guys know what I think. Now, this bad boy retails for, I think, $54. It's over 50 bucks. Obviously, I used my Ulta points and I had a 20% off coupon, so I essentially got this for free. But it would be a pretty penny if you were to go out and buy this at the full price. In here, you're getting 12 shades, a total net weight of 22.8 grams of product, and this thing is like a brick. It is very solid, very heavy. It's quite thick, pretty large, and the pans in here are actually like a really decent size. They're a bit larger than a lot of standard eyeshadow pans that I'm used to seeing in a palette. So yes, this is expensive, but like you're getting a huge mirror, you're getting a lot of product in here, and you are getting some cool textures. Now, I want to write a dedicated blog post on this once I've had a chance to play around with it more, so I did already photograph this and do swatches of the whole palette, so it has been touched. I also could not help myself, and I've played with this twice off camera. I kind of just wanted to see what it was like because I haven't used a Stila eyeshadow in years, and I want this look to come out somewhat decently, so I kind of wanted to cheat a little bit and familiarize myself with this palette. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really glad that I did that because I have learned some things about this already that I don't like. So you have 4 matte shades up here in this side of the palette, and then everything else down here is either a metallic or like a pressed glittery, sparkly type situation. It's not like a chunky pressed glitter, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these shades, these 4 right here and this one, they have a really unique texture that is somewhere in between a metallic shadow and a glitter. It has a lot of chunks of sparkle. It's really brilliant and beautiful, but like Fallout City. You definitely need to use some kind of like sticky primer underneath this because the little flecks of shimmer I feel like aren't going to stick on their own and will probably end up getting everywhere. So maybe the best way to put it with these glittery shades is that they have a very pigmented base of like a creamy metallic shadow, but then there's really fine micro silver glitter in the shadow formula that doesn't adhere super great. So looks really pretty, you need to be careful with it, but these mattes here are what have been kind of super bumming me out. I find them to be not the best on the eyes. They're very, very soft to the touch, and they're smooth, but they're not super pigmented. They're quite sheer and buildable, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't mind shadows being buildable. Sometimes it makes it easier for them to work with, but these I feel like on the eyes all kind of look like the same thing in the end, and I kind of felt like I really wanted a colorful matte to make these pop. So I think today what I'm going to do to create a look that I really like is utilize some shades from my Huda new nude palette because this has so many beautiful pink and purple tones, and I feel like this would look really nice with like some of these shades that are in here. So this I think is going to help things out, but this is just something to consider if you were thinking about picking up this palette. It's very, very expensive, and if you can't get a whole ton of looks out of it all on its own because the mattes are kind of blah, that's definitely like a pretty big downside. All right, so now that I've rambled on for about 300 years about that palette, let me get my eyes prepped. I'm gonna use my new MAC paint pot again. I know I just showed this to you guys in my summer heat makeup look that I did. So this is the first paint pot I've ever owned. I'm really excited about it. And so far I've been really liking it as an eyeshadow base. I feel like the color is perfect for my skin tone. It doesn't seem too heavy or too dry on my particular eyelids, so I like it. All right, so I'm just gonna start out by kind of setting things down with the matte cream shade. This is a Morphe M441 brush. So just gonna kind of run this along the brow bone and the transition. And there is some powder kick up in the pan with these, but it's not insane with the mattes. All right, so just so you guys can see what I was talking about before, I'm gonna go into this shade here on a Sigma E35 brush and go into the crease a little bit so you can see exactly what I mean by like, it's just very, very light. It kind of just looks sort of like a greigey taupe color, which, I mean, this one is a greigey taupe, but like this is not super uber pigmented on my eyes. I don't know. I would have liked to see something a little more punchy in this palette to kind of give me a little bit more to work with. All right, and I just dusted off the residual shadow, and now I'm gonna go into the purple shade, and we'll just start to build this up a little bit. All right, so here are those shades built up a little bit, and as you can see, it's basically pretty subtle, like I've only put a mid-tone shade on my eyes. And I think now that I'm kind of like reflecting on it more, this is really what the issue is. The only shade that you can really darken up a look and make it more dramatic with in this palette is the matte charcoal. So that's always going to blend out to be kind of a dark gray, and it's just going to make your look overall just look gray and less colorful, and it just kind of makes everything look a little bit more the same because the other shadows are so faint on your eyes. So we're going to cheat a little bit, and I think I'm going to pick up some of the shade Love Bite from my Huda palette because I want some dang purple in my life. So I'm just going to layer a little bit of this up on the outer corner of my eye. This is a Wet n Wild brush from the holidays, like what, 2 years ago? 2017, 16, something like that. And then I'm going to take my E35 in the shade Spanked, which is a little bit more of a pinky purple, and I'm just going to kind of dust this into the crease and blend things out a little bit. I will say one thing that I am noticing, and this is, I think, the MAC Paint Pot. Now that I'm like layering a bunch of stuff on my eyelids, I feel like they do look a little more dry than they normally would if I was using a different primer or just concealer on my lids. Like, I don't think it looks bad, but like if you look really, really up close, I feel like you can see that my eyelids look a little bit dry. Okay, let's move things along. I'm thinking it might be kind of cool to use this tealy sky blue kind of color, which is a metallic shade. This one doesn't have the sparkly glitter in it. I think I might put that kind of like in the inner portion of the lid and then fade it into like a purple glittery situation towards the middle. So I have these little flat SL Miss Glam brushes. I'm gonna see how this applies with the brush dry first because I'm curious. I have not used this particular shade yet at all, so I really have no idea what it's like. Okay, so like no fallout in the pan, so that's nice, but it's going on fairly sheer with a brush. Like I'm getting the color, but I'm not really getting any intensity. So let's see what happens if I pick it up with my finger. Yeah, then it really goes on with like some nice shine. Okie dokie, so I know if I'm going to work with these glittery shades, I need a glitter primer. So I'm going to be using the NYX glitter primer that now has replaced my Too Faced one. So I basically just rub this between my fingers, and I'm going to tap this right onto the edge in between the purple and the blue there, because that's where I want to put the glitter. Now I feel like these glitters will probably pick up okay with the brush. We'll see, otherwise I'm going to end up using my finger. So I'm going to go into the kind of brighter light purple glittery shade. It does look like it picks up on the brush, and let's start tapping this guy on. Oh man, not gonna lie, the glitter shades in this palette really are just like absolutely stunning. They kind of 100% make up for everything else. You know what, I'm gonna grab some setting spray because I'm gonna try to foil that blue shade, because now that I got all the sparkly goodness on my eyes, I feel like that's looking pretty blah. So this is the Catrice Prime and Fine. I feel like this multi-talent fixing spray is very similar to MAC Fix Plus. It doesn't have any alcohol or anything like that in it, so let's see if I try to pick up some of this here blue shade, if I can get more punch out of it. It's definitely better than it was. Just not quite like as wham bam impactful as the glitters are. You know what? I think I want more. I want more glitter. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit more glitter primer on the edges here. And then I'm going to go in with the darkest purple, and we'll just fade a little bit of this guy into the lighter purple. So I have like a giant mess of eyeshadow fallout on my desk, but surprisingly not so much on my face. I think I'm going to need to go back in with my Huda palette just to intensify this crease a little bit and kind of smooth things out. Okay, something very, very weird is happening on my eyes. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you. Okay, do you guys see this? What the hell and a half is happening in my crease right now? I feel like I don't understand how shadow got all the way up here. Is it because my eyes were wet and it like transferred or something? But it's like crazy weirdly patchy even though I only applied matte shadow in that area. So I don't know what the hell and a half that's all about, but it does not look very good. Alrighty then, well I'm gonna see if I can like fix this problem situation. I may be able to go in with the primer and kind of like erase some of this is what I'm gonna hope will happen. So wish me luck. I'll be right back. Alright, so that is better than before. I kind of was able to essentially go in with the paint pot again on my brush and just like kind of erase my entire crease and then reapply shadow over that to kind of try to blend things out and make it look slightly less terrible, but it's not great. So I guess I'm just gonna go like full on crazy now that I feel like this look is, I don't know, it's not gonna be the best. I'm going to take some of this super light shade here on a pencil brush. Going to try kind of just packing this onto the inner corner for a little bit of fun sparkly goodness. And then I just wipe that brush off and we're gonna go in with this blue shade because I kind of just want to use as many shades in here as possible. It's why the hell not. And we'll see how this works on the lower lash line. Holy blue eyeshadow, Batman. That is a pigmented. I will say that much. The blue is very, very pigmented. Okay, so now my face in my entire life is completely covered in tiny silver sparkles everywhere. So what I think I'm going to do to finish this up, I'm going to apply some liner, mascara, lashes, get this eye look done and over with. Gonna put on the Color Lit Enough lashes, and then we'll meet back to do lips. Okie dokie. So liner and lashes are on. They definitely helped this look for sure, but still not super happy with the eyes, and I'm definitely not happy with the insane amount of glitter sparkle that I have going on in my under eye region. Just trying to fix everything, put on lashes, etc. Now I've just got Fallout City all over my face. I mean, I already had a really nice blinding glow with the highlight. I didn't really want more sparkle, so that is not ideal for me. So let's just do some lips and wrap things up. I'm going to be applying the new Dose of Colors lip liner in the shade Ruffled. This is a peach beige, they described it as. I actually used one of their lip liners also in the summer heat makeup look that I did last week, so I already know from that video that I like this formula, although I don't have anything in my lips right now, so we'll see how it goes on dry. Well, that was a bummer. I just crumbled off a piece of my lip liner, so that's not good. This definitely is a little on the dry side. It is quite opaque, but you kind of have to go slow or prep your lips with like a little bit of balm, otherwise this will happen. And then I'm gonna top everything off with a gloss. This is the Dose of Colors gloss in the shade On Repeat. I heard Jessica Braun rave about this, and so I needed to try it, and it smells like frosting. It's kind of delicious. The shade is beautiful nude, and so far it's going on nicely. It has a nice flat paddle-shaped applicator, pretty easy to use. Well, it feels super nice, not sticky, very creamy, definitely pretty thick on the lips, but it tastes good, smells good, so far I'm digging it. All right, so let me take this off, let me fix this total crazy mess in front of me, and then we'll wrap things up. All right, so let's do a little recap of all of the new products we tried out today. First up is the E.L.F. Camo Concealer. I do really like this. I feel like it went on nicely, it blended in easily, and right now, looking at my under eye area, it's pretty smooth. I do feel like my fine lines look a little bit dry, like they're a little bit enhanced, but not badly. And honestly, I do really feel like the way this looks is very similar to Shape Tape. So if you want an affordable dupe for that, this definitely seems like the closest thing you're gonna find at the drugstore. So gonna continue to use this, wear this, try it with some other foundations, and I'll keep you guys posted in about a month or so, but so far so good. Then we have the E.L.F. Primer Infused Blush. I think this is beautiful. Oh my goodness, I love this blush shade. I think it's so nice. It blended into the skin beautifully. It's only $6, so you can't beat the price. And hopefully it will, you know, hold up over the next several hours. I'll keep you guys posted, but as far as first impressions go, I think this is lovely. But I think my favorite product from today, though, is the highlight. This is just, I mean, look at that. It's just so pretty. I love it. I love this color. I love the formula, the packaging with the rose gold. It's freaking beautiful, and I believe these retail for the mid-20 price point, so not like insanely expensive, but not cheap either. So I am really, really glad I picked this up. Definitely going to continue to use it, and I know there are 2 other shades in this particular formula, so if you don't think Gilded Lily is going to work for your skin tone, I would check the other ones out, because I think there is one that's a little bit lighter and also one that's a bit deeper too. Then we have the MAC Paint Pot and the NYX Glitter Primer. Both of these seem promising, but I definitely need to use them more. I did notice today that my eyes looked a little bit dry with the paint pot, and obviously I had quite a few eyeshadow issues, but I don't know that it was necessarily this. I have a strong feeling it was probably the palette, but I'll definitely use these guys with some other tried and true eyeshadows to see what I think, to see if I feel like either of them are screwing things up. But from what I can tell so far, I mean, this does make a nice smooth base for your eyes. This does help eyeshadows and glitters adhere the same way the Too Faced one does. So far, all right, but definitely need to be tested out some more. Then there was this, which I'm feeling very frustrated with right now, because I have not yet been able to create a look with this palette that I have absolutely loved. Like I said, I tried this out a couple times before because I just wanted to familiarize myself with the shadows because they did seem so different. And both times I used this palette in the past, I didn't really love how my eyeshadow came out. You usually can tell because if I like it, I'll usually post it on Instagram, and I've been relatively quiet in the last week, you know, like when I'm filming this. So I am going to use this again a few more times. I'm going to see what I think of it. I do want to write up a full blog post review. But honestly, if I don't like this, if I don't end up getting along with it well, I think I'm going to return it because it's expensive, and I would rather my $50 worth of points go towards something else I'm going to use and love than hold on to this if I'm not going to enjoy using it. And right now, based on my initial thoughts, I don't feel great about this. There's so much fallout with these glittery shades, like the Silver Sparkle gets everywhere, even though the shadows themselves are beautiful and they have a lot of pigmentation. The metallic shades, which is like this one, and the gold down here, they're just not very punchy. They take a lot of work to build up, and the mattes are also not super pigmented. And like I said before, these tones are kind of blah. The only thing you have to darken things up is a charcoal, which is just going to make everything kind of look gray, and I feel like it's kind of boring against all these fun, beautiful pops of color. So even though this palette is beautiful to look at, it's very luxurious, it's heavy, you're getting a lot of product. If the product's not great, it's not really worth it. So I feel very lukewarm about this right now, but again, I'm gonna test it out and let you guys know how things go in the update. And then finally, we have the lip combo, the lip liner, and the lip gloss from Dose of Colors. These are really pretty. It's maybe a little light on me. I feel like this gloss might be better layered over a darker lip liner because this is a little bit washed out concealer lips looking on me, but the formulas are decent. The lip liner, I'm kind of bummed that it just snapped off like that. I didn't have that problem when I used the shade Floral the other day. I think it helps to prep your lips with a little bit of balm so it glides on a little bit easier. But the gloss formula smells good, tastes good. It is very shiny, moisturizing, so this so far I'm really enjoying. Alright guys, so that is it for today's Makeup Playtime video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing me test all these products out, even if there was a little bit of riding on the struggle bus at times. I'm very curious to continue to play with these and give you guys my final thoughts in my Makeup Playtime update that I will be doing for you next month. Also, if you've tried any of these, definitely leave a comment and let me know what your experience has been. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Did you have these same problems that I did? Let me know, because I'm curious to hear what you think. And on that note, I'm gonna let you guys go, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.